Hey, little guy. Hi. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It's very early right now, and there's a little bit of a break in the weather, and I'm just gonna take a quick look at the farm. The weatherman is saying that the storms today are supposed to be pretty bad. So Hurricane Laura has been making landfall. We're about 500 miles inland from the coast, and the storm is supposed to reach us today and tonight and into tomorrow. We've been having rain. It started to rain last night, and some wind, but like the high winds haven't gotten here yet. And they're saying it's supposed to be pretty bad, but you know, we always hope for the best whenever these things happen. Tornadoes and storms like that are part of living in Arkansas, and we have dealt with our fair share of them. For those of you who have expressed concern and who have been telling us that you're praying for us, we so appreciate that. We do live up on a ridge. Come on, bear. Up on a ridge. So we're at a higher elevation than the area around us. And that means that usually things like tornadoes, we deal with high winds here, but we usually don't deal with tornadoes like touching down here where we are, because just those types of storms usually go the path of least resistance. The only concern I have for storms is these two little trees right here, because they're dead and they need to come down. Handling that has been on our to-do list, and we kind of had in mind that we needed to get it taken care of before winter came, because we do get ice storms here, and you know, dead tree branches when they're weighed down with ice can be a problem. It is a kind of interesting feeling whenever like all of your work and everything that you do is outside. It's like storms come, and it makes sure you have good safe barns, and that everything has what it needs, and then pray over it and hope for the best. Here are my goaties. They've discovered I'm out here and they're hoping I come with breakfast, which I don't. Here in about a month or so, we're gonna start putting the rest of the does in with bucks. I'm not trying to breed them all right now because I don't really want them all having babies in the dead of the winter. I prefer our kids to come like at the beginning of March. It might still be cold, but for the most part at that point, we're to the end of the winter weather, and it makes it a lot nicer whenever you're having to go out and milk every day. I do, however, need to get a buck that is a Nigerian dwarf, because we have those two little young bucks, but they're related to a lot of the girls. And so I am thinking that I want to get just a completely unrelated one to breed my Nigerians to. They are so cute. My alpaca girlies are far back in this pasture. Now, as far as breeding the alpacas go, we did attempt to breed all of these. Let's see, it was in about October or so. I'm not 100% sure that they're bred. I really don't know. And when all that was going on, it was shortly after that we started dealing with some different like health issues, and we were talking with our vet and working with our vet, and basically we decided to just hold off on trying to do any more breeding. So I don't know. They're pregnant for 12 months, so if they are pregnant, they will have their babies this fall, and that would be really cool. But if they don't, then that's also okay. These animals were older when we got them, and they had difficulty moving down. We learned a lesson, and actually several months after we got these, at Homesteaders of America, I heard Joel Salatin say that if you're going to move animals, you should move them horizontally across the map, not vertically across the map, because when you move, you know, several states up or down in one direction, then you're changing climate so drastically that you can have a hard time adjusting. And I think that's part of what played into the issues that we had. So I am like super lax about breeding my animals. If I think that they're not in tip-top shape, I just won't breed them. We'll just skip a year, because for me that is more important than having, you know, as much production as possible at my farm. So here's the rest of the sweet potatoes that we have not dug up yet. We'll get to those later. Oh, hi tunnel. Wow, look at the variegation on the neck of this candy cane pepper. Isn't that so fascinating? I think variegated plants are just such a beautiful part of nature. I love them. Being of the mind that we are preparing for a storm, we were discussing what to do with a high tunnel. Of all the structures on our property, like, this is the one that would be, I guess, the most concerning with high winds coming. Now, the concern with leaving it open is that a gust of wind could come in, catch up in that dome, and damage the, that plastic of the high tunnel, or potentially, if it pulled it enough, maybe bend the frame. When you live inland like we do, and there are tropical storms hitting the coast and they're coming up through the state, the concern is the high winds that come with a tropical storm, but really it's that it'll spur off into tornadoes. Like, that's what is more likely to happen when that kind of weather comes through our area. And tornadoes are something that, I mean, it's just very typical of this area. Being completely honest, like, I just don't stay in a place of being afraid of stuff like that. Like, it is something that happens here, but I just can't live in fear. I'm just not going to do that. And so when it comes to stuff like deciding, do we close up the high tunnel or do we leave it open? I mean, we're trying to make what we think would be the best choice, but it's not something that we want to do out of fear. I thought of this morning, and I thought, I bet we have sprouts back here. We've got kohlrabies going down, rutabagas going down this side, kale in the middle, and then I planted beets over there. I see a few little sprouts there, but not just a whole lot yet. I need to go get a bucket here before too long and come harvest the tomatoes that are red down here. Bear, you're not supposed to chase them into the high tunnel, you goofy dog. Let her get out. She's trying to get past you. All right. Leave it, Bear. Leave it. Good boy. Goofy dog. It's starting to rain again. I'll tell you, the ducks don't mind the wet weather. Listen to those guys. Hi guys. Good morning. What got you? Good morning. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at this rooster standing on this stump in the middle of the garden road. I'm not even mad at him. At this point, this garden is so like in the middle of transition that I'm not even stressed out about the chickens getting in here. At this point, I kind of feel like I've lost that battle. I got most of the fruit out of the garden this year. What a wild mess this place is. So I know I talk about the garden being wild and weedy, but this is honestly one of my favorite things in the world, when the garden just goes completely berserk. Even when it is half dead, I just think it's so wonderful. Look at the blue butterfly peas taking off. Last year they did the exact same thing. Oh, there's a little clematis bloom. Last year these took until late fall to really cover this up and be rich and full and beautiful. I don't think this is right. I think we got more than 1 inch. That or one of the kids came down here yesterday evening and emptied that out. Come on, dude. Probably be doing some indoor content the next few days because we're supposed to be covered up in rain for a little while. In fact, it's starting to rain now, so I'm gonna head back in the house. So it's later in the afternoon. We've got a very massive pot of beef stew, and then some peppers all cut up to get ready to process them. But I figured we would take a little peep out here. This morning we walked around and I showed you the dead trees that I was concerned about. Well, Maya, we're watching the storm coverage, and he actually decided that he didn't want to take the risk of leaving those standing for this storm, considering how close that tree was to our house. So he and Bentern came out in the rain and dropped those 2 trees, and they did a good job. They didn't hit any fences or anything like that. I'm actually really relieved that he decided to do that. That was really one of the only things I was concerned about with the high winds that we're supposed to get. And then also this morning, Maya called our friend Tyler from Grower Solutions, and they've texted back and forth through the process of us setting up our high tunnel, and he asked Tyler what the suggestion was on preparing a high tunnel for high winds. And Tyler said to go ahead and shut it up, to put the walls down. Now, we weren't sure what the best thing to do was, because, you know, whenever you've got like tornado weather, a lot of times it's good to leave windows open and allow the wind to pass through. But we were also concerned that if the wind got up underneath the high tunnel, that it could tear the roof off. And that's essentially what Tyler said. He said it's better to go ahead and put the walls down that they're rated for up to 80-mile-per-hour winds, and I think we're looking at about 50-mile-per-hour winds today. So the high tunnel is all sealed up, and it's really just starting to storm. I think we're looking at the worst of it hitting us over the course of the next 2 hours. And so we're just hanging out inside. All our animals have dry, safe barns. Our kids are here, and now we wait. So, you're soaking wet.
I am.
Are the batten down the hatch? Are the hatches battened down?
As much as they can be, yeah.
Yeah. You gonna go get dry?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna be like up for like, if it's like raining and winding all night, I'll be up all night.
Winding?
Like checking on the greenhouse, because I'll go out there and hold it down with my bare hands.
Yeah, it's coming down.
Well guys, it's getting kind of late. Jessica actually already went to bed, but I was putting the finishing touches up on the video and realized that we had forgotten to sign off. And so I wanted to get on here and wrap things up. Just wanted to thank you for being concerned about us. The hurricane did pass over Arkansas today. As far as our farm, we did fantastic. We had no damage. The greenhouse is fine. All the other outbuildings are fine. It definitely was a day of running around the farm, even in the rain, to try and batten down the hatches and make sure everything was good to go in case we did get some really severe winds. So that was kind of hectic. Again, we appreciate all the messages we've received, people checking up on us. It really means a lot. Like I said, everything's good here. All the animals are good. So I'm actually gonna finish wrapping this up so I can get to bed. Got a big day planned for tomorrow. We bless you. Until next time.